Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zhang, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok, and feel free to text or leave me a voicemail at 702-551-4445. On with the show. Welcome to this week's episode. One of Sin City's most interesting social media success stories over the past couple of years has been Daniel Leo at itsdaniel.leo. With his first post back in February 2020, he featured so many facets of Vegas beyond just food and resorts. Initially blowing up with over 100K followers in 6 months, Dan's posts really run the gamut with a wide range of topics from funny and poignant to informational and a lot more. To me, he's one of the must-see accounts for everything Vegas, and I'm super stoked to have him on the show. Personal story for me, I try to put effort into consuming new content whenever I see who's doing what and how I can learn from what others are doing. Daniel initially kept showing up on my FYP starting in maybe early 2021, and we initially connected in July of 2021, where you somehow ended up having dinner 3 days in a row together.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how that was possible with our busy schedules now, but we went to a Mono, Mint, and the Big Jerk, where I met Velia for the first time too. And at this time in social media for myself, I was kind of lost on TikTok and trying to figure out how to do voiceovers and more of the nuanced type stuff. And through the conversations with Daniel, I was inspired to kind of put it all together. I went back to back on 1 million+ view posts during those dinners, which was crazy. And it definitely would not have been possible without his influence. If you want to see what a great post looks like in 2022, you should definitely check out his account if you haven't. And the really unique thing to all this is that his girlfriend, Velia, is into this whole social media landscape now. Doing this as a full-time job, she's seen some incredible growth in a pretty short period of time as well. They're definitely a social media powerhouse couple sitting at 338K on TikTok and 106K on IG. Dan Wittenkeller, aka Daniel Leo, and with over 50K on IG in what has felt like a blink of an eye, and 46K on TikTok is Velia at its.velia17. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you for having us, for sure.
That intro was like so humbling. I was like, oh my God. Like,
hey, it's all true. You did it, man.
Thank you, man.
So let's get into the bit of a backstory. How did you guys meet initially?
Do you want to go first or should I go first?
I think you should, because mine's a little bit more like on the, I don't know, what side, like on the, I usually just say like, oh, we met on Tinder.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's more of a sweet kind, like, oh, you know.
Oh, yeah. So we met originally actually on Bumble. I was honestly just swiping through. I had the profile more or less like for dating purposes, but also just personal purposes to meet new people. I was kind of just by myself in the city for the most part, had a couple friends. And I was swiping through, and we both swiped right, but the conversation was super, super short. Yeah. And we ended up just exchanging Instagrams, and we're both following each other, but didn't really talk or anything. And I posted, I remember, I'm sure you've seen now some of my stories. I go on my rants and my reflections every so often.
Yep.
And I was still doing that back then too, but getting like 20 views on them, right? So I did like a little reflection post. I was kind of at a dark time at that time. And she was the only one who actually responded to my story and asked me, hey, let's talk about it. Let's meet up and let's talk about it. And that was like, first time I heard someone say that to me in such a long time. So we both met for coffee. It was like 115 degrees.
He wanted to take me out for a drink, but I said no. I said coffee. So at the end of the day, we ended up going to Gabby's Coffee, and I was like, whose idea was to go for coffee at 117 degree weather? He's like, you, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'll take you for that drink. So.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep. Yeah. So we went out for a drink afterwards, and then basically we're inseparable at that point. This was before any of the influencer things or any of that. So, and our first couple weeks later, when we made her official, our first trip was actually a foodie trip. We went and I took her and showed her all the Chicago culture without bringing her to Chicago. So went and tried all the Chicago restaurants in Phoenix. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
First time I had ever did that before, and it was just funny how it's become what it's become now.
Yeah.
After that time. So.
And what year was that when you guys met?
I don't know, it was 3 years ago, so
Okay,
that would be
2019.
19.
yeah.
2019.
Okay, cool. And then, how did you initially get onto TikTok in the first place? Why did you start posting?
I started posting on TikTok actually after we seen a viral post that had got like 12 million views, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, if that post can go and do that with what I know about Vegas or what I've been studying about Vegas and my love for the city, I should just be documenting and posting it.
Right. Yeah.
And we had spoke in the past before about doing a YouTube channel and all that. We tried to do it.
Yeah, we tried. Yeah, for sure. Like since he said like we went to Arizona for the foodie thing, we loved food, both of us. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do. Started our own YouTube channel.
Yep. But obviously at that time, the growth on YouTube, there wasn't shorts or anything, so it was a little different. It was harder to do. I seen videos blowing up on TikTok, and I was still, I guess you would say I was still pretty early. So I remember the first post got, it was a food truck that got 20K, and I think the third post ended up getting 250,000.
Yeah,
was
you had
just
a
like
couple back to back.
A couple back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where, and then went from there. So.
You're known as the CEO of Las Vegas. How did that name come about?
It was me, yeah. So I used to go through TikTok all the time, 3 to 4 hours a day, and so I would pick up a lot of the trends that was happening at that time. So he kept saying at the end of his video, "Oh, and follow me for everything Vegas." So I was like, "So why don't you just be the CEO of Las Vegas? You love the city so much. I've never seen someone so passionate about what's going up in the upcoming
Like projects and just things
yeah.
developing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, you should just run with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really where it came from. And at first I thought it sounded a little brash, but then when I really thought about it and I thought about my journey coming to Vegas, like, from the beginning, whatever it was, like my first trip in 2015, I was like, everything has been just kind of centered around that CEO of Las Vegas type of vibe. It was like, how else could I really explain what I do? And that was it. So now I run with it, and it's kind of just become a thing. So.
Totally become a thing.
Yeah.
It was just such a great idea. But I think brash is a good word. I mean, a lot of people who've never met you before probably think it's coming off as brash.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think there's a fine line between confidence and being brash. And I think once they talk to you guys, they'll know it's not that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I get the DMs all the time. And it's crazy. And I've actually ran into some of those people that have sent me those DMs in person, and then it's happened on at least 2 occasions. And then when they meet me, they're like, "Oh, I did not expect you to be like this or be like that." So, I just, I was raised right. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my mama did a good job to be confident, own it, but also be humble at the same time. So.
And then I sometimes see on your stories that it's almost like you have to kind of defend or legitimize yourself as being the CEO of Las Vegas and saying you haven't lived here that long, but you love the place. But I don't think you should do that anymore.
No.
I think you should just
Own
be
it.
you and own it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my feeling. Anyways, what's been really interesting to me is the evolution of the craft from when it began with the postings and now. Can you guys talk a little bit about that progression?
The progression in terms of like the posting, right?
Yeah, just creativity or influence, how you approach the posts these days.
I think we try our best just to keep it. We kind of figure out as we go, right? The more repetition you get, the more you kind of figure out what posts work and what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. But I think for at least me, she probably has a whole different view on this than I do. It's like, there's a system you get into, but for me, I have to keep it organic to what I've always been, I feel like. And I feel like my posts are naturally progressing because I'm consuming the content still. And just, I don't want to get stuck into a box of doing one thing. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like keep upping the quality of the content, but still keep the same authenticity you always had. So that's really important to me. So.
Yeah, if we can talk a little bit about the craft side of things, Dan does a lot of the text in the frame, which many used to believe was a negative thing a couple years ago. It looks to me like you've taken it up a notch recently with posts like at Ghost Bar, Symphony Park. How important is that kind of stuff to you in growing the account?
Well, I think there's a couple different variations, right? I think I'm definitely going a different direction with the content. Like I said, you see more of the business-minded TikTokers and influencers always do the text on the screen, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things I had to figure out. I was like, what am I going to do that's going to separate me when I do in transit? Because I'm going to change the content even more in the future. So there's going to be a lot more different things where I'm going to be more of the face and kind of included in it. So
Very cool.
more deeper documentation. But yeah, I think it keeps the audience engaged still. I think you can't overdo it with the text, but I think there's a healthy medium of keeping them engaged and letting them follow your voiceovers. And they could always mute it too and not listen to my voice. So that's a good thing. So
Yeah, they have to read it. They're going to absorb the information no matter what.
yes.
So I think it looks awesome, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do. I use Splice for all my editing. What are you guys using now?
I use InShot.
InShot?
Yeah.
I like to edit the videos on InShot, but then I always do the voiceover and the captions in CapCut.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, he's been using more of the CapCut. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the editing. I don't know. It's still simpler on CapCut than on CapCut than it is for other apps. But I don't know. I prefer editing videos on InShot for whatever reason.
I think InShot's probably still the most popular one with most influencers in town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But CapCut, so you do the voice in CapCut just because it's easier to piece it together?
Yes. Yep. Exactly. And you could do the auto captions, and then from there I'm able
okay.
to maneuver and change the text style and all that. So.
Good to know. Good to know. So then Velia gets this going too. I mean, when did this become a reality? When did the wheels start turning to where you were thinking about leaving your profession?
Well, it started by obviously attending to whatever he was going to, either a restaurant review. And a lot of people kept asking, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? And I was like, it's just not for me. I'm just shy. I don't know how to edit. He's like, you can always start somewhere. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it a shot. And I'm going to be like, I'm going to post every day. I think I told myself that I was going to post every day for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I was bummed out because it just didn't happen the way I thought it was going to be. And he was a big backbone for me. He's like, don't get discouraged, just keep going. And since then, I just kept going, and I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that you guys do it together. What were your previous jobs before social media?
Well, I had a few jobs. I was a commercial insurance. Also, I was working with Allstate, and I was working for a law firm.
And you grew up in Vegas?
No, I've been here for 15 years.
Okay.
I'm actually from California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then all my jobs, man, crazy. Moved out here, I was a food runner at the Luxor for a little bit. Before that, I ran a clothing brand. Obviously, we've talked about.
Yeah.
I had a clothing brand when I was living back in Chicago. I've done asphalt labor and construction. I've done
Wait, you're the guy laying it down?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, with the rake and all that. I've ran a couple machines and all that too. So I've done that. I was in I did carpentry for a little while. I worked at delis. I worked at Walmart. I worked at the Jewel Osco, which is the Kroger brand.
Right.
For Chicago. I worked at one of those. So, and above that, I tried a lot of things: wholesaling, real estate, being intermediary, business broker. So many different things that I tried to do and pick up. So before I became an influencer.
Right. And do you feel like that experience has helped you now?
Oh yeah.
You guys are doing?
Oh yeah, for me, yeah, definitely. I think it's just the experience and seeing different cultures and different facets of life and the different ways that people have to make a living and seeing different perspectives makes you, not just for the content perspective, but just more of a whole-rounded person. So
That's true.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a big thing with social media culture is that a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about Vegas, but overall, many of the influencers saw success pretty quickly when they were maybe in high school or early college, and they've never ever had to have a shitty job, which I think definitely helps me put things into perspective. I'm sure it does for you guys too. What would the 2017 versions of yourself think of you now?
Oh my God.
that would be crazy.
I don't know. What do you think, babe?
I don't know. For me, I think I always expected something to happen at some point. I think I just got to a point, I think after about 4 or 5 years, after you've ate shit for that long, you're kind of just like
Yeah.
you're just persistent, and you just don't know you're just gonna fall into it. So, I always expected some level of success, but didn't know what it would be. But now for it to be like, people are watching my videos rather than watching a video I made for a business, I think is just like amazing to me. And I never expected it to be the
Yeah,
case. So
of course. For me, I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. So looking at myself in 2017, I can definitely see a lot of progress. So
Yeah. So what was it like quitting your job? Like
it was scary. It was scary. No, but I mean, I kept losing my job on and off. Like I kept losing one job after the other, and I kept telling him, I'm like, this is not for me anymore. Like this is definitely not for me. I have to do something else because I either have to start my own business or I have to like pick up on what you're doing, which is being a content creator. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot. So, yeah, it worked out.
It's been amazing. Let's talk a little bit about IG versus TikTok. I mean, I think this time last year, I think we all thought Instagram was kind of dead in the water, and TikTok was going to take over. And then let's talk about the Instagram blow up for both of you guys. I mean, when we first met last year, I think you had around 2K,
yeah.
and now you have 106K. Velia has had some sick reel posts with insane numbers, and just crossed the 50K follower mark. I mean, 2 to 3 years ago, that fast growth was super rare, at least in Vegas. And there are people that we all know that will probably never sniff 50K, which is crazy. Dan shared Velia's accounts reach last month, and it was an astronomical 17 million accounts reached.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And then to put that in perspective, I'm currently doing a little over 2 million in the past 30 days. So this is out fucking standing. What do you credit? I mean, there's a lot of things that have gone into it, but what do you credit to the IG blow up for both you guys?
You want to go first, baby?
Yeah, I think it's because I felt like learning from TikTok, I had the upper hand to know what exactly the audience liked. So I just kept it that for the first 3 to 4 weeks, and that definitely helped out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like when you if you did early days TikTok, I think it's easier to do do Reels more than anything else right now. I think someone who wasn't on TikTok that's trying to learn how to do Reels, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
But I think that Reels makes it a lot simpler to make videos. So I think with the templates and how the trending sounds pop up, it's better than TikTok now.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
outdone TikTok.
It has.
It's so weird.
I never thought that there would be an app that would out TikTok, and I think Instagram may have done it, at least for now. Now I think it's going to swing back more in the TikTok direction here in the next 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
So, in my personal
Going back and
opinion,
forth.
so yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, to an average viewer, the posts that you guys do seem effortless and smooth. You guys have really put in the work behind the scenes. I know you study what's going on, delving into details like post style, length of the posts, a bunch of the smaller details. For anyone that's listening, that's interested in social media in Vegas, what are some other maybe big picture things that they should be looking at when approaching a post?
I think it's about honesty. I think you have to really look at your content and be like, does this compete with what's in the market right now? Because you can sit there and, you can post the same post that, Phil does or I do, right? But if it's not the, if it's, you just kind of know, is this post really going to be worth that amount of views? So I think, yeah, it's definitely the quality. I think the length of the post definitely really matters.
Yeah.
And it's all about watch time. I think the biggest thing I could tell creators coming up, it's all about the watch time. So really think in the frame of when you're creating content for that watch time. And I think that's kind of something that you'll just figure out then. Everyone's style is going to be unique and different. So I think if you just make a post in the mind of making a great post and focusing on watch time, you're going to be good.
Yeah, so digging into the analytics,
Yes.
looking at the post, trying to figure out where the views maybe dropped. So say if it's at 30%, you look at the 1/3 mark and see why people tuned out. That's all good stuff to self-analysis is always an important thing with posts. Going back to Velia's Beer Park posts, it's sitting at 16.1 million views, 292K likes right now. Dan's obviously no slouch either, averaging healthy 6-figure views on his posts. And I love that you guys cover everything. It's food, it's nightlife, it's thoughts, it's news. Do you have a favorite type of post personally for you?
For you?
A post?
Yeah.
I mean,
Subject, topic.
so, I would say lifestyle. Lifestyle has been one of the things that I've been picking up more, and I like my lifestyle post. Yeah.
I really do enjoy like the food side of it, but I think posting food every day gets redundant for me after a while.
It does.
For me, the post I'm the most confident that I love the most is like the Symphony Park one, where I'm going and I'm talking about something that's going on in the city from my own perspective and adding that in there. So that's where my passions lie. So
That's awesome. And then, so, I mean, you see that more of what you're going to do in the future.
yeah, I think it's always going to be a healthy medium. It might be. It's kind of like how you've seen it right now. It's sometimes it's food, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. It just really depends on what's going on in the city at the time and what my pulse is feeling. I should be posting and providing for my audience. And providing for the city. So
Right. Very cool. And so, I mean, while you guys are doing all this, let's talk about, if we can talk about some sources of income without the IRS knocking on the door. Social media management has been a big thing for the two of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did that start, and then how do you feel about what it's been like for you as an experience of working together?
It's definitely pretty crazy. I didn't think that it was going to evolve into me and you running it how we do it now.
I know.
But there's a legit system there,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful because it's one thing to me go and make content, her starting to make content after and working off each other, but it's another thing to actually run. You're running marketing for businesses.
Yeah.
So,
Together, yeah.
together and numerous businesses and doing it well. So
I think we've been blessed to have really good clients next to us. They don't ask for much. They just like, here's the account, do what you do best, and they just let us be. And honestly, that has worked out for us. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And all our clients are happy. So I
Yeah.
mean, we have great relationships with our clients. So we haven't had any turnover, which I love. So I mean, all the clients are doing well, and we enjoy working with them. And it's a beautiful thing. It's fun.
It is
It's a
fun,
lot of fun.
yeah. And then we pick up from each other too. Whenever we do a shoot, like he's doing something creative, I'm doing something creative. I like this, you like that. So we definitely pick up on one another too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, constantly sending videos back and forth to each other. Hey, I like that. Can I use that for that? Okay. And yeah,
Vice
constant, vice versa.
Yeah.
She does more of the TikTok end. I do more of the Instagram end. So
I think it's really important as an influencer to not just be in your own bubble. I mean, to have somebody to talk to, whether it's your significant other or just some other friends kind of doing it themselves, to really bounce off ideas, and that's where great things happen.
100%.
cool.
100%. Yeah. We both have different perspectives too,
Yeah.
and different post styles. So I think it works really well. So that's awesome.
And the fact that you've effectively created an agency in your apartment is kind of crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of when we sit back and look at it now, it's kind of mind blowing. It's like, oh wow, like I mean, look at what we're doing now. It's insane. So on that end,
Yeah.
so
And what's it been like navigating the social media world now that you're doing it kind of together? I mean, being recognized at places.
Being busy too. I'm
yeah,
like,
being busy. Yeah, there's always something. Yeah, the being recognized is one thing, but yeah, it's always being busy, always doing something. Yeah, but I think that we're really working on a good balance. I think with all of it too.
yeah.
And kind of starting to learn where to separate the work from the personal. So
Okay, can you give me some advice on that? I need some advice. So I have a hard time separating stuff now that, Ayumi, my wife, runs accounts herself, editing videos, all that stuff. I mean, Paul and Mindy have been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
So how do you balance love and professional and kind of keep it separate?
I mean, I think it comes like from a love for each other. We kind of look at it as like, hey, there's times where it's like, hey, our lifestyle is a job, right? So yes, our lifestyle is a job, and our job is a lifestyle. So you have to understand I don't know. There's just it's always different. There's just times where it's time to put down the phone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna pick up on. I feel like we give a lot of quality time. We give each other quality time where we put our phones down and we actually give that, one-on-one with each other. So
Agreed, yeah. And also just not taking too much video, I think, when we're out. We love to just take videos, for
Yeah.
fun too, besides any of that, and everything's content. So
Everything is content.
yeah. So
Everything is content.
Everything's
And
content.
we try. We really try. But I don't know. We both love it so much that it doesn't take away from us. Yeah.
nope,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you know what shots to get to. Like when you're out, it's like you know what shots you need and what angles you like, and then you take 2 or 3 videos instead of 15 minutes of a drink being made. You just don't need it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you know now how to condense it. So let's talk about the love for Vegas. I mean, Daniel, you're big on talking about the city stuff, the future of Sin City, and all that in a unique way that no one else does. I love the recent one about Vegas running out of water. I mean,
Everybody loves that one.
yeah, I could never put that kind of video together if I had a week. But how long does a video like that take you with the text, the pic overlays, the scene changes? I mean, there's like 30 cuts going on at least.
Oh yeah, there's always it's always like at least 30 cuts for sure. I lose track. I mean, I think most of them take between some that's more detailed like that between like 45 minutes and an hour. So
Okay.
not
bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. It's just it's like an extra 25-30% of work you have to do. But when you're in the flow state and you're working, you don't you don't really think about it. So,
Yeah, and the payoff is awesome.
Yeah.
Incorporating more Vegas culture. I mean, the words Vegas and culture, I mean, to me, 10 years ago, it didn't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you moved from Chicago to Vegas, what year?
That was in late 2017, December 2017. To
Okay.
be exact, yeah.
And it was kind of the culture or the potential of culture that inspired you
Yes,
to come here.
yes, exactly. From the hip hop scene in Vegas, not hip hop scene in Vegas, that seeing the hip hop scene in Chicago take a turn and evolve, and being around a lot of conglomerates that were starting to blow up at that time, and seeing certain YouTube channels that would blow up from 2,000 to whatever, like millions of subscribers, right? And seeing some of these concerts go from being 50 people to being full on festivals. I seen what that did for culture and how that developed, and I was like, when you see it, it was kind of like my 4-year college degree, because I didn't go to college, so that was like my college, is like seeing that blow up and being a part of that with my own business. And I'm like, we could just take this and replicate this in Vegas. Not replicate it exactly, but take that same inspiration we had in that same perspective and bring it to Vegas. So, and yeah, it was amazing. I told you about the, well, I think yeah, we talked about like the personal story before, coming here for the cannabis scene and the hip hop scene, starting a blog, what happened with my friend and all that. So it's been, yeah, I think it's just, yeah, love for the city, for sure.
Amazing. And I love that you guys focus on a lot of off the beaten path stuff. I mean, you hit up Bob Taylor's ranch house
Yes.
Yeah.
recently, and they don't even have an Instagram account.
They don't.
I just checked, but I can't remember the last social media foodie that went there. And then also, Velia's blown up a lot of Mexican restaurants that the general public wasn't really aware of. And so, I mean, is there a list of stuff like hidden gems that you guys are constantly looking at?
We're always trying to look into different things, deals that are happening in Vegas, new restaurants that are popping up, street vendors too as well, local vendors. Yeah.
Yeah, some of it is just literally driving by and just having an open mind and being like, oh my God, that thing's there.
Yeah,
I feel like
check it out.
yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a lot of people don't see it because they're not open to seeing it. They're kind of in the frame of mind of going one place and that's it, right? But if you like really look around at what's going on, it's like you never know what you're gonna find. So
Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of wild, wild west out here.
yes,
With a lot of the businesses. So, what's next for you guys? I mean, any set plans or things you'd care to share coming down the pipeline for the two of you?
I think it's definitely expanding our agency and just
Like hiring?
hiring
Oh.
to that extent, getting deeper with that, and really just I think upping the quality of the content. I think is like what we're going to focus on the most, because I feel like we have a great system in play and we know what works, and we just want to keep evolving on that. So, and then yeah, I think at least for me personally, it's just still it's evolving the content, putting my face in it more, doing more CEO of Las Vegas and less not less of showing the restaurants, but more of people seeing who I am and putting that out there. So I'm excited for that, and always tracking the progress. So
Yeah.
But yeah. What about you, baby?
For me, I think focusing more on different aspects of creating for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the best way we could say it. Yeah. Just continuing to evolve. And
Yeah,
just,
diversify.
Diversify,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
Because you work on other topics, then you come back to, food with a brand new set of eyes.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And yes, social media management also helps that because, you're shooting stuff you probably wouldn't even be shooting
Exactly.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go into some questions with Dan and Velia. Number one, you've got one song to sing at karaoke. Name that song.
Go ahead, babe. Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny?
Yeah, Bad Bunny for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to get into some Neo for sure. So,
Neo, yeah.
Nice. I saw you sing that at Kamu.
yeah.
So, what's your go-to day drinking spot if you have a free afternoon?
Damn, that's a hard one.
It depends what's the price level.
Yeah, what's the mood too? I honestly like mezcal, Misterio mezcal. I like it a lot.
Over in the Arts District?
Yeah.
The Mescal Bar? Yeah, I like that one. I like Legacy Club
Legacy
for sure.
is for him,
It's
yeah.
my favorite bar.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, amazing place, and yeah, I've seen a lot of the posts. Makes me want to go every time I see you post it. What's the food item you know is trash but you love anyway?
It's trash, but you love anyway, baby.
I like a Roberto's breakfast burrito.
Oh my God, no way! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I've eaten one every hour of the day
that,
by this point.
yeah, that's incredible. It's great. I like Subway. I like Subway.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What's the go-to? Like a triple decker?
No, Subway. The breakfast sub. I like
Oh.
the steak, egg, and cheese. So
Okay.
Chipotle Southwest.
Nice.
That's my thing.
For me, I don't know what it would be for me. I mean,
Taco Bell.
ew.
Is that like a Chinese person eating Panda Express?
It would be. we have a funny story about Taco Bell. So.
Yeah, no, not Taco Bell. I don't think I've ever had Taco Bell dating him. So,
No.
a food that's trash, but still eat it. I don't know.
Any hidden gems on the east side? There are 2 stars on Yelp, but you're still.
2 stars on Yelp. I'm trying to think what people hate on when I'm like, trying to hype up a place. And they're like, that's trash. I think, what's it called? Tamales Doña Maria. Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, it's very Americanized already. So it's not like authentic Mexican food. So I don't know. Maybe that one.
Okay. Cool. I gotta check that out. If your out-of-town friends want to hit up a strip club, where do you take them?
Sapphire.
Chicas bonitas.
I recently saw a Google review for Chicas where the guy said, a roach crawled out from under the table and quickly started eating my fries.
Oh my
No
God.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Palomino or Chicas Bonitas? Chicas Bonitas?
Chicas bonitas for
Chicas,
sure.
yeah.
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 I haven't been to either.
Palomino's better. Chicas bonitas is just
Chicas
just
Bonitas.
ratchet.
It's just
Yeah.
ratchet.
All right. I gotta go. Someone has 0 followers, wants to do the social media. What's the first platform they should sign up for?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Still TikTok.
Yeah.
Still TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, I think it still is too. Velia recently did a post that blew up about In-N-Out giving out hot chocolate to kids on rainy days. That blew my mind. Does every parent know this?
They
I hope
should.
they do. Now they do.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's another cool tip that people maybe don't know about anywhere around town?
Another tip.
I would think. I was thinking some with the birthday freebies, right?
Oh, the birthday freebies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, make sure that you download a bunch of apps before your birthday.
There
Yes.
you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Velia did a really cool tour of birthday freebies. That is definitely something people don't take advantage of, and that's a great tip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, wait, and yeah, free play at Ellis Island on your birthday too. I think I saw that. You get like.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't try it myself. I think it's $20 of free play with a card. So it's
Alright.
pretty cool for your birthday.
Christina Ellis, good job.
Yep.
Any funny or cool story meeting someone that followed you through TikTok?
Ooh. I mean, I don't think there's one person. I think that
There's a funny story. I know a funny story. Well, it was, I think we went to the sandbar. Is it the sandbar? The one
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yes, there's
Oh my
there's
God.
this guy who
Sand dollar?
yeah, the sand
The
dollar.
sand
dollar.
Yeah. It was a sand dollar bar, and a guy approached him, and he bought him a drink, and I guess they started talking, and then later on he came up to me. He's like, "Oh, this guy offered me a shot in his car." He's like, he's
Yeah. No.
yeah.
Yeah. He was a fan of the content.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had did a round of pool with them. He was with his girlfriend. So it was kind of like he met us and it ended up being a double date. And then he was just like, "Hey, you want to come take a shot? I got a bottle in the car. You want to come take a shot?" I'm like, "If you were the homie, I probably would, but
Right. Right.
I just met you, bro."
And what is that like? So, I mean, even for me as well, when favorite accounts that I follow, I feel like I know them,
Right.
And I think people feel that way when they see your account or see my account. They want to hang out with you or eat with you, but it's kind of weird to go into a stranger's car or,
Yes.
meet someone blindly and just have dinner with them on the strip. Would be kind of strange.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a fine line with that. I mean, I love when people come up to me and talk to me. It's one of the things I love the most. I love engaging, having the conversation, and seeing people's reactions when they meet me. Because, I remember when I used to go and do that, right, and feel the same way on the other side. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. What's your go-to caffeine fix and where is it?
cold brew at Starbucks. It's almost a daily ritual for me now. So black cold brew from Starbucks.
I do love the cold brew.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, is the chai latte at what's it called? What's it called over there in Henderson?
Ooh, the chai latte. Oh, the heck, True Brew.
True Brew. Yeah, it would be the chai latte at True Brew. I love it.
I've heard amazing things about
Oh
that
my
place.
God, it's the
I love
best
True
thing.
Brew as well.
I
Yeah.
wish they would invite me. So, what are your initial thoughts on subscriptions on TikTok and IG?
Ooh, didn't you get that one already?
I got the live subscriptions. I think it's great. I think it's great to knock out Patreon. So I think it's easier. It's going to be better. I think when it does that full rollout. I haven't seen what the database looks like on the inside, but if Instagram's watching, I need my subscriptions. I haven't got my button yet, so I need that.
But what can you imagine you would do for extra content? And then, I'm seeing a lot of people charging $1.99 or something like that for subs, but I don't know what you would do. I think the only way would be to hang out with you once a month.
Oh yeah, or talk to them maybe one-on-one
Yeah.
for that subscription or.
Yeah, I would think that maybe almost in a Discord type of way where it's you create a little community off your subscriptions and you're
Right.
able to interact more personally with them. So, and keeping it all on Instagram, which I think could be great,
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they, it depends how they lay out the interface for that, but I'm sure Meta did a great job with Reels, so I think they're going to do good. So,
Access to discounts too, maybe. Sometimes restaurants ask us, here's a 10%. Let's see what your revenue is, what you bring. So maybe that would be another thing,
you get access to all the discounts.
access discounts to some of the things that maybe we run,
Right.
right?
Yeah. I mean, you could tie it in with NFTs. There's a lot of things you could do with that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that all goes. Is there any account that you would imagine that you would personally subscribe to?
I haven't thought of one yet.
Yeah,
I know.
I was thinking of that too. Maybe a band or
Maybe, yeah.
an artist, but I don't know.
I think that would be about it, right? I mean, I would think it's the same way how people subscribe on Patreon, right? If you like a YouTuber's content, you watch more of the content on Patreon,
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing. I don't have one specific creator, I think. I follow a couple people on Patreon, but it's more of the spiritual level stuff and more things that are more for aware, self-help for me. So I think that would be it for me. I don't know about just a specific creator though. So
Once one spot still on your list you've yet to check off but are dying to go to.
I would be super excited to do like a full property tour of Circa. I think that's one of my things, like full property lifestyle tour of Circa, room, the whole deal. So
Yeah.
but and yeah, I think maybe doing more stuff with like some of the suites and stuff like that. I think would be cool. So less about the I guess less about the food because we've done so much food. So there's other steakhouses and stuff I'd like to try, but in different restaurants. But in terms of like making a TikTok or an Instagram reel, I think it would be more of the hotel stuff and behind the scenes. So
Yeah, I think that's a great call. And that opens you up to so much more potentially outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've blown up, whatever place like Circa, Four Seasons and Maldives will see that and hopefully invite you in.
right, exactly, that would be dope.
So that about wraps it up. Guys, is there anything else you guys want to plug?
The Instagram and the TikTok, follow me, CEO of Las Vegas. It's Daniel.Leo. Follow me for everything Vegas. And
Follow it's.velia17.
All right, follow those guys if you don't already. Till next time, thanks for being here on the show, and see you guys next week.
thank you for having us.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thanks for tuning in to the Las Vegasville podcast. For more information about me and where I've been dining recently, check out my IG and TikTok at Las Vegas Phil. Feel free to text or leave me a voicemail about anything you want, 702-551-4445. Stay tuned as a new episode of the show debuts every Monday morning.